Hey everybody, it's John from Angry J Audio. I'm going to do something different. It's Bon Scott's 80th birthday today, and anybody that knows me or anybody associated to Angry J Audio knows that we're huge Bon Scott fans. And for me personally, I would say that he is probably my favorite musician of all time. Anyway, I figured I'd do something different. I love recording music, I love playing music, but I love just talking about music and albums and greatest bands of all time and stuff like that. I'd rather have those conversations as to about anything else. And, it being Bon Scott's birthday, I figured that I would talk about the Angry J audio origin story a little bit. And for me, as far as that goes, AC/DC High Voltage. This is a iconic album cover. We've all seen it a million times, and I would imagine, you know, at least musicians anyway, that almost everyone's heard the record. Or if you haven't, you should, and I recommend that you go listen to it immediately. It's so hard to say something about the album that hasn't already been said, you know, by a million people and probably more eloquently than I could ever do it. But I figure, today's a good day to talk about it because this is an important story for me. It's an important album to me. I couldn't tell you how many times I've listened to it. I've definitely spent more time on this record in my youth than I have probably any other record. I don't really listen to it a ton anymore, except on occasions on, like this, because I don't really need to. I've just kind of got it stored in the memory banks a little bit. But I just wanted to talk about my experience with this album and why this is the album that made me want to pick up the guitar. And the guitar, of course, is my main focus for years and years. But these days I'm doing a lot of that as well as recording. And so I figured I guess it's more for myself, I suppose, but to document where it all came from. So I would have been 12-ish. And I had been noodling on guitar. I wouldn't call myself a guitarist at all at that point. I was just noodling around. I knew how to play a few riffs. I remember the School of Rock movie came out, and I loved that scene that Jack Black is playing the SG, and he's teaching Zach, the kid guitar player in the movie, like the three riffs. He was, showing him how to play those. And what I took from that was like the 101 riffs that you had to be able to play in order to do what he was trying to figure out if the kids' music class could take care of in the movie. And one of the riffs was Highway to Hell. What's funny is I didn't realize that was Highway to Hell. I recognized Iron Man and I recognized Smoke on the Water. Those were the three songs that he showed Zach how to play in School of Rock. And I kind of noodled around with those riffs because I was like, okay, well, if that's 101, I figure I got to learn those riffs. And truthfully, I didn't really put together that it was Highway to Hell until later. I just knew how to play it just based on watching the movie. And I wasn't really taking it serious. I wasn't practicing every day. I was, playing sports and stuff like that and doing normal kid stuff at the time. And I guess my dad was trying to introduce me to music that would be more exciting for someone my age or something like that, to make me want to show more interest in the guitar. So for Christmas, my Uncle Jay, who's my all-time favorite uncle, I love you, he asked my dad what to get me for Christmas, and he told him to get High Voltage or Powerage. And my dad's favorite is Powerage. And honestly, these days, it's probably mine too, but I can never bring myself to say it because this one has my heart. But anyway, story has it, as I remember it, is that Jason was looking for Powerage, couldn't find it anywhere, so he settled for High Voltage. And opened it up for Christmas, thanked him, didn't think anything about it. It just kind of laid on my desk, still in the wrapping. I didn't even open it. And I was like, this old man band, or whatever. Of course, I knew AC/DC prior to that because my dad exposed me to good music, thankfully. And I grew up hearing it, but I just never really, I guess it just never clicked or something. I'm not sure. I remember loving those songs as a small kid, and then kind of going through like what's a mainstream phase from, 7 to maybe 10 or so. And then around 11 or 12, not quite 13, probably 11 or 12, 12 at the most, probably around 11. It was that Christmas for me. I was born in 92. Um, that CD sat on my desk at the house in my bedroom for all the way up into the end of January. I didn't open it or anything, but I remember there was a really bad snowstorm and the power went out. I was home alone. My parents were at work or out in town doing something, and I was at home. And I didn't have anything to do. It was snowing outside. Didn't want to go outside. Couldn't play video games. Couldn't watch TV or anything like that. But I had a boom box that took batteries. And so I just decided to, I was like, I ain't got anything else to listen to, so I'll just turn this on while I draw or something like that. And the first song comes on, I was just listening to it. I had nothing else going on. I had no distractions. It was exactly the perfect environment for me to take in the record. And the first track was It's a Long Way to the Top, obviously. I mean, iconic, classic song. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Second song comes on. It's Rock and Roll Singer. Now, these days, that's probably my favorite track on the album. But at the time, I was like, all right, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Listened to it. I just kept letting the CD roll, but I got to number 3. And I didn't get past number 3 for at least another few days. And I'm not, not exaggerating at all. That solo, man. That solo to me to this day is still the number 1 guitar solo of all time. For me, in my opinion. The Jack, that studio version of that solo, to this day, the tone, the vibrato, just how melodic and how singable and how vocal that lead line is, the dum dum da 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 da, that thing. I just, for some reason, that was so hooky to me, and I loved it, and just everything about it just changed my life. It just changed my life immediately, and I just sat there with that song on repeat over and over and over and over again. And I knew at that moment that I was like, I have to be able to make that sound. I don't know what that is, but that's the most magical sound that I've ever heard, ever. And I've got to find a way to make that sound myself. And from that moment on, I mean, it's history. I mean, I haven't put a guitar down or albums or anything since. I'm 33 now, and I still listen to that solo or most of Angus's work and still feel the same way. And I'm just completely, I'm completely enamored by his playing and his feel and just everything about the band, the song, and Bon Scott's like swagger and his cool lyrics. It's super tongue-in-cheek and clever. Everything about it, man. I just got stuck on that song, and it changed my life. And, it's no exaggeration. It genuinely did. I could stay talking about the Jack for a long time, but I'm going to move on so this isn't too long. You got Livewire on here, and man, that one's, amazing. That's one of those that I feel like doesn't get enough live play from AC/DC. It's such a great live song. TNT, absolute classic. We all know it. We love it. Can I Sit Next to You, Girl? I have to admit, it's not the best track in the world, but I don't even really consider it a Bon Scott song because, Dave Evans was the original singer, and that was one of the singles they put out prior to Bon joining the band. Little Lover, absolutely incredible. Malcolm's work in the outro of that song, amazing. He rolls his volume down and cleans it up a little bit, and just it's beautiful. I mean, She's Got Balls on here, huge, heavy riff. It's awesome. And then the title track, High Voltage. There's not a skip on here if you ask me. Just everything about it. The guitar work on all of these songs, but especially Rock and Roll Singer, and as I professed my love for the Jack, Livewire is amazing. Little Lover's incredible, and of course we all love the classic songs, High Voltage, TNT, and It's a Long Way to the Top. I just had to do kind of a love letter to this album on Bon's 80th birthday because he's a musical hero of mine, and I just think he's the epitome of cool. And AC/DC means a whole lot to me. The first band that I ever joined was not even on purpose, but kind of accidentally. An all AC/DC cover band. That's all we wanted to play is myself, Hassel Bryant, buddy Ryan Stevens, and Dalton Sawyers. Love you guys. And it was completely organic. Like, we didn't really know each other that way. We just each individually had our own passionate love for that band. And just wanted to play that music, and that's all we wanted to do. And no other band really scratched that itch for us at the time. I mean, just ever. I mean, and still to this day, I don't think that there's a band that captures what AC/DC in the early days does. But you know, all of their albums into the Brian era was also incredible, but it definitely had more of a raw, like, punk rock feel with the early stuff, and it's just, you can't recreate that. You can't synthesize it. There's no plug-in. There's no, you know, there's no nothing. It's all attitude. It's all energy. And I mean, what can you say? Bon Scott's the all-time coolest frontman. He's, I mean, he's just got all the swagger. He's a gutter poet. He's like a pirate singing. Just everything about him is just cool. And I just wanted to do a video and talk about High Voltage. This is the album that got me into music, got me into guitar, and still to this day, like, the magic that Angus and Bon and Malcolm, Phil and Mark Evans at the time captured on this record is just untouchable to me, and I don't think anything will ever take that magic away from me. My inner 11-year-old still feels the same way about this album that I did back then. And Bon, happy birthday. We love you.